Sourcing additional water supplies is a priority for our nation. But conserving our treated water is also essential. Every day, clean drinking water drains out of the network through thousands of leaks.
The water system is invisible. It's not just the water that is taken for granted. It's all the work necessary to get people the water.
We are losing about 43% of the water that we produce to leakage, which is at a minimum twice the size it should be.
If you're treating that water to drinkable levels and then it's going out into the ground, that's treatment costs, that's chemical costs. Water is heavy, so you're pumping water all over the place. If you're pumping 50% of the water into the ground, that's absolutely cash being thrown out the window.
Imagine if half the Guinness that got brewed was thrown in the drain before you could put it in a bottle. People would say that's crazy.
In Great Britain and Ireland, the United States, particularly the East Coast, the older cities, you have the same problem, which is really old systems delivering. And in water mains, they're under pressure, of course, so if there's a crack or a leak, that water is shooting out of the pipe.
When we built these water systems to move water around and distribute water to our homes, we probably didn't think enough about the long-term maintenance of the pipes.
Ireland's water pipe network was first installed over 150 years ago. Despite decades of repair and replacement, much of it is still corroded, cracked and leaking.
We have found leaks in the past that are in very, very small holes in the pipework, and they can create leaks losing up to 20,000, 30,000 litres of water per day.
Water meters tell you where the water's being used. And so if the standard amount is being used over here and then we go another half a kilometer and suddenly a lot of water is being used, but there's nothing there but more homes, then guess what? In the middle, there's a leak.
The reality is that once we put pipes in the ground and bury them, it's hard to find them when they leak. And when they do leak, it's really inconvenient to dig them up.
Very often we have to liaise with the local authority to agree the type of traffic management we need to do. The biggest challenge is actually, when you dig down, is to pinpoint exactly where the problem is.
We start by using acoustics. Most basic is a listening stick, which is a steel rod. It's the old school way of finding leaks. We listen to valves and fittings around the network, and anything that's making a noise, we follow up then in that area and bring in more leak pinpointing equipment.
You fix a leak, and then it finds the next weakest point on the network and it pops again. So that's quite frustrating.
It can be kind of an ongoing, a domino effect, where you could fix 5 or 6 leaks and you'll have no drop in usage whatsoever.
We need to repair 1,000 leaks a month, and that's just a standstill. So even if we double the budget that we have, or we double the amount of teams on the ground, you know it's going to take years, but you just have to stick at it.
The only time I can imagine going after every leak is if you're in a terrible water scarcity problem, in which case every drop's value goes so high. But if you hit those moments where some of these occasions are so expensive to fix that the cost-benefit analysis is way out of whack, I would go to the ratepayer and say, I hate having a leak, but I'd rather not use your money that way.
If we're going back and we're patching up a pipe on the same road day in, day out, that makes no sense. It's costing us too much money, it's disrupting the public too much, and it makes more sense to replace that pipe.